Hello and welcome back to another D2 Crucible video. I'm Kelson, and today we're going to be reviewing the Round Robin Strand Hand Cannon. It's a 120 aggressive archetype, and it just became available with the Lightfall expansion, so it is fairly a very new weapon. Today we're going to be looking at all the different rolls and god rolls you can get on this hand cannon. Also going to be explaining all the different perks and maybe the different play styles that each combination will cater to. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at this hand cannon. First of all, you see that it's a big, chonky, blocky boy. It's a beautiful gun and it takes shaders really well. So let's take a look at how to acquire it. As I mentioned, it came with Lightfall, and you will have to complete the Lightfall campaign in order to unlock this weapon to farm it. So after completing the campaign, you'll get a mission step from Nimbus called From Zero. You'll finish that one, and then you will have to complete to Hero, from Zero to Hero. And after completing to Hero, you'll get a red border round robin. Then after that, you can farm it. Farming it is pretty simple. All you'll have to do is keep loading into the Terminal Overload LH activity on Neomuna. After you load in, pull out your ghost to look around and see what patrols are available. What you're looking for is an exotic patrol or a golden patrol. Some people call it golden because it has a little golden icon instead of the normal patrol icon. You race over, complete that patrol, and then you will be given a Neomuna weapon. But let's see how the round robin stacks up compared to the other 120 hand cannon you have available. Just looking at it, broadly speaking, it has worse stats than basically every other aggressive hand cannon in the game. Bottom Dollar looks like it has a lot better stats. Pure Poetry looks like it has better stats. Igneous Hammer. All of these looks like they have more handling, more range, more stability. The only thing that Round Robin seems to have going for it is the recoil. Its recoil is sitting at 97, and that seems to be quite a bit better than almost every other one, except for something new. This seems to be a pattern with these crafted weapons, that their stats are worse off than other randomly rolled and randomly acquired weapons. This is, in my mind, probably how Bungie is balancing these crafted weapons. They're thinking, well, you can craft these and get whatever perks you want and min-max them however you want. We need to have some kind of a trade-off for when you get good rolls on other weapons, right? And, I kind of talked about this a little bit in our Phylotactic Spiral review, but stats aren't everything. This looks pretty grim looking at this sheet and all the stats, but when we look at the perks, you're going to see that there are ways to make up for those deficits. So you went to Neomuna, you did all the exotic patrols, you got 5 red borders, and now you're sitting at the Enclave and you're wondering, what perks am I going to throw on this 120? What's going to give me the most value? Well, in my mind, there are 3 different types of Guardians that this hand cannon is going to be perfect for. The first Guardian, he's going to just love getting those 2 taps. For those of you that don't know, 120s are able to get 2 tap kills as long as they have a damage buff. As you can see in this 4th column, we have kill clip present on this weapon. After getting a kill and reloading, it's going to give you a 25% damage increase for 5 seconds. That is enough to do 100 to the head per shot with this hand cannon, and that'll do 200 damage, and that's enough to kill any Guardian regardless of their resilience. So this is probably going to be the setup that most Guardians are going to want to go with. Just getting those 2 taps, it feels really nice and it's really satisfying, and it's extremely powerful. It's a 0.6 TTK. Yeah, I imagine most of you will go with this roll. Just to give you an idea of all the exact perks you're going to want to go with, probably small bore, that or fluted if you're more into swapping the weapon, if you're a sniper user, or your shotgun user that really likes to get those cleanups, then you're probably going to want to go with fluted. That adds on 15 handling and 5 stability. However, if you always have this weapon out and you just want a little more consistency, I would go for small bore for that. Steady, 7 stability, and 7 range. Then in the second column, ricochet rounds is the one you're going to want to go with. Adds 5 range, 10 stability, can't go wrong there. You can also spam it around corners when you leave a Guardian low health and you just want to try and see if you can get that ricochet kill, bounce that bullet off the wall and kill him. Yeah, that is one nice little perk you can get with ricochet rounds. Then Keep Away. So for those of you that don't know, this is a new perk that came out with Lightfall. It significantly increases reload range and accuracy when there are no combatants within 15 meters of you. This happens really often, especially with high impact hand cannons. And, high impact, you're not going to want to be taking those engagements up really close anyway. You're just going to get shredded by an SMG or a sidearm or a shotgun. So try and play, when you have this out, try and take your engagements as far away as possible. And then, just to help out with that range is never bad on hand cannons. Get that range masterwork too. And I would slap on an Icarus grip. You could go targeting adjuster if you really wanted to, if you just don't plan on jumping ever, but there are a lot of instances where just trying to get that follow-up kill with a jump shot, that happens pretty often, so go with Icarus. Then let's look at the second setup that people are going to want to use. This is definitely going to be less popular than the 2-tap round robin, but this one is geared towards the bow users. They are out there, believe it or not, and they can get extremely effective with those fast swap bow kills. The idea is to get a headshot with the bow and then quickly swap to another weapon and get the follow-up kill super easily. Because this hand cannon is craftable, you can get, believe it or not, a 100 handling. Of course, you're going to want to go with fluted, then ricochet and Keep Away just like before, but this one will have elemental capacitor, so as long as you're on an arc subclass, you can get that huge stat bump of 50 handling. Now let's go for the third and final perk combination, and this is actually the combination that I went with, and that is the consistency setup. So it's all the same. Again, you have the fluted barrel, you have ricochet, and you have Keep Away, and then the big difference is that fourth column, we're going with opening shot. Again, if you don't know, you're new to Destiny 2, you might not know about this perk, but it's been around forever. It improves the accuracy and range on the opening shot of the attack. So just to get into the nitty gritty details, it has a 3.1 second cooldown, so it's an opening shot, but if you are peak shooting and you're giving yourself 3.1 seconds between shots, you can actually get it to proc several times in a gunfight. However, more specifics, it gives you plus 20 aim assist, plus 25 range, 5% accuracy cone size buff, and a 10% accuracy cone growth buff. All those just help with consistency. You're really going to notice on that first shot, it's almost always a headshot really. If it's in the top half of the body, chances are it's going to be a headshot, and that just makes those follow-up 2 shots to clean up the kill even easier to get. You can see we actually didn't go with range this time, we went with stability, and that is just to combat the bloom on the weapon when you shoot. As quick as it can go, bullet bloom is going to make those next shots less accurate, so the more stability, the easier it is to keep landing those headshots, keep getting those 3 taps. And then I went with Icarus. Just like the 2 taps, there's a lot of instances where sometimes you need to jump over a barrier or over some cover, and having that extra airborne effectiveness really helps. So those are the 3 different builds of perks that we have, but we didn't really talk about this Nanotech Tracer Rocket's origin trait, and it is pretty interesting because it can actually be the difference between you getting a 2-tap or you just requiring 1 less crit to get a kill. So for those of you that don't know, these 120 hand cannons, they require 2 critical shots and 1 body shot to get a kill. It's a 1 second TTK, but with this Nanotech Tracer Rockets, it kind of changes that. So what happens is, or what it says is, landing multiple hits turns your next shot into a homing micro rocket. So it's different for every weapon. It just actually depends on the percentage of the clip that you shoot. For this hand cannon, on the 4th shot, the homing rocket will come out and do that bonus damage. It does 29 bonus damage in the Crucible. What that means is, let's just run through some scenarios with this Nanotech Tracer Rocket. So you get a kill, 3 headshots, and then you start shooting another Guardian. Well, you did 3 shots already, so that next shot you're going to be doing 30 extra damage. So You'll do one headshot, that's 80. You'll tack on an extra 29 damage, or 30 let's just say, for 110. And then the next shot, if it's a crit, you will have done 189 damage to the Guardian. So it is possible to get a 2-tap with just Nanotech Tracer Rocket. It just requires that the Guardian you're shooting at has a lower tier resilience. I believe it's about 3 or under. So let's run through another scenario where you could actually just require one less critical shot to get a kill. If you land a couple body shots on one Guardian and then you start shooting another and the rocket comes out, then if you ran 2 body shots and a Nanotech Tracer Rocket, then you're only going to need a critical shot to finish them up. These don't happen very often, honestly. I mean, all these hours that I've been playing with the round robin, I never really noticed. But if you're aware of it, if you're thinking about it, then you can definitely use it to your advantage. Then while you're keeping that Nanotech Tracer Rocket origin trait in mind, you're also going to want to keep some other things in mind while using this hand cannon. These aggressives, like we said, they do not have the best TTK. It's 1 second flat, it's 2 crits, 1 body. It is forgiving with that 2 crit 1 body. Other hand cannons like the 140s, the adaptives, they require 3 headshots. But the TTK is lackluster, and for that reason you have to play a specific way. You really want to stick next to your teammates. Team shotting is key here. You need to get those team shots because the burst damage with these aggressive hand cannons, that is what they are best at. So if you have another person on your team using a high impact or a hand cannon, you can usually kill someone in just 0.6 seconds if you're both shooting at them. It really is, it's key, and you're going to see that when you use it. Another big tip is to just stick next to cover. You can go for the 3-tap, but if you're getting shot and you're getting flinched and you know that the weapon that's shooting you is a better TTK than your 1 second, then just get back into cover and wait for your shields, wait for a better opportunity, wait for a teammate to come, then peek back out and recommit to the engagement. Usually their shields haven't recovered, you're going to have the advantage, and that is how you're really going to take advantage of these 110 aggressive hand cannons. And that's all we have for the video. Appreciate you all watching. Let me know if I missed anything or if I left out any perks you thought were meta. Till the next video, guys, keep slaying in the Crucible, and we'll see you next time.